Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am Tiffany Henson of TMH Portraits, and I'm going to give you a brush demonstration today with some blending tips and techniques thrown in there. This is my first tutorial I've done, so I apologize in advance for not being the most articulate person on the planet, but I hope that what I show you today is beneficial to you as you're painting. This is the most common request I get as far as tutorials go and comments on my YouTube videos and my Facebook page is what brushes do I use? How do I make them? Can I download them? And how do I blend? What blending tools do I use? Do I use the blur and the smudge tool? To answer those questions first before we get started, I actually do not use blending tools. It's not that I have anything against them personally, but I have no self-control when it comes to the blur and the smudge tool, so I just don't even really look at them. I don't tempt myself because if I use them, my piece will just be a gigantic smudge and it's a mess. So I just ignore this altogether. What I use is the basic Photoshop brushes and add modifications to them so that I can build up some color, which gives me a nice depth, I feel, to my paintings, or as far as color goes, depth, dimension. It's just the hard round brush and the soft round brush that I use mostly. I always keep this brush panel open. You can find it by going to Window and Brush. I also keep Layers and History on the same tab just for the reason that I work on a small screen. If you work on a bigger screen, it might make more sense to you to have them separate, but I try and keep as compact of a workspace as I can, and then just toggle between them as I need them. So I have the brush panel open here. In the brush tip shape, you can see just the variety of brushes that are available. I just pick a basic hard round brush. As you can see from the stroke in the panel here, it's just a straight up flat stroke, not affected by pen pressure or anything like that. That's the starting point that I always use. Then I have the shape dynamics checked. Just make sure that pen pressure is selected in the little drop down here. Then I click on transfer and make sure that's checked, and also have pen pressure checked here. I also keep the minimum under the flow jitter, whatever that even means. I don't even know what that means. But I keep the minimum at 25%. And basically, in simple terms, that just means that I'm not going to break my Wacom tablet in half because I'm pressing so hard on it. The pen pressure indicates how dark it gets. If it's at 0, it takes a harder pen pressure to get there. So the higher that this is, the less pressure you'll have to apply to your tablet. So again, that's totally preference, just so I'm not Hulk smashing my tablet when I'm working. So that's really all that there is to it. You can choose the soft brush if you want, especially if you're starting, because it does some of the blending for you. We'll get this transfer selected here. But it just gives that softer effect, whatever your preference is. I prefer the hard brush just because it the layering allows for more of a painterly look, which is my preference. But do whatever feels right to you. So anyway, we'll get started here. Now that we have the basic brush characteristic down here, we'll grab the handles of this to make it more narrow. It allows for some broad strokes if you're trying to blend skin, or more narrow if you're doing hair like eyebrows or eyelashes. Works great for that. You also can grab this arrow here and tilt it for whatever angle you want to achieve with your brush strokes. So we'll get started. What I usually do with blending is lay down the boldest values first. So we'll start with a more extreme color change here. Black to white. We have the two values here, and I will just start always in my transitions by starting in the middle and laying a lighter color or a midway color. See, the articulate thing. But I always lay that down right in the middle of each plane. And as I go from dark to light, I just add more colors within those planes. So we'll lay down kind of a mid-tone here. Make my brush a little smaller. The hotkeys that I use for this are the square brackets that are located right above the return key. The left one makes the brush smaller, the right one makes it larger. And again, I'll just go in between each value and overlap there. Then I will color sample from the middle, and again go over those thresholds, make it a little smoother. So now that we have this kind of basic gradient laid out, what I will do to kind of fine tune it is I will rotate the brush so it's perpendicular to the angle that we were using before, and I will sample from one side of a threshold. So we'll say we'll use this section and this section. Pull color from here and just drag it over, and then choose the black and drag it over the other way. And I'll go across each section, pulling from one side and then pulling back across there to soften it. And I basically go between straight up and down and horizontal to achieve the look that I want. So what I was doing before with the pulling across the thresholds, I'll just go back the opposite direction until I'm satisfied with how smooth it looks. Grab a middle color and just pull straight down. And also the hotkey for the eyedropper tool is the Alt key. By doing that, you can just grab colors as you go rather than having to click on the eyedropper every time. Alright, so here we have a nice transition from white to black. Basically just sampling an overlapping color between two planes and moving the brush vertically between each threshold, and then alternating to the perpendicular angle and brushing across that way. By alternating between those two angles, you should be able to get a nice smooth effect depending on what your preference is. So now that we have the simple black and white sample done, I'll do a time-lapse painting for you guys so you can observe how I use the brushes and the different functions that they serve. It's a pretty versatile brush and pretty awesome. Here we go. The first step is to take a mid-tone from the original picture you're working from and to use the eyedropper tool to block in some of the major colors, which we will blend as we go along. When I work with color especially, I like to start with a neutral mid-tone base because it allows me to build both light and shadow while still letting some of the colors that I have placed underneath to peek through. I think that this provides a more dynamic look and for more dimension overall. Once you've added the broad strokes, you can make your brush a little bit smaller and start focusing on the detail. So I'd say that about does it. This technique takes some practice and some serious self-control, especially if you're a blur and smudge tool addict like I am. However, once you find a comfortable method for building up color and value, these brushes will be your new best friend. It's pretty amazing that such an ordinary Photoshop tool can be so effective when drawing skin, eyes, lips, hair, facial hair, and clothing. So all in all, it can be a pretty versatile brush. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope that it's helpful to you. If you give it a try, please let me know how it turns out. Bonus points if you send me a link. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer you and write back. Also, if you have any ideas for future tutorials on something that you want to learn, let me know and I'll see if I can help you out. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the tutorial, don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck and happy painting. Bye.